Welcome to our channel. Today, we dive into a story that questions the boundaries between life and death. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends. Your support helps us bring more intriguing content to you. A moving avatar of a mysterious figure gliding through a dark, starry background. The figure gestures towards the subscribe, like comment, and share icons as they appear on the screen. John scoffed at the idea of near-death experiences. To him, they were fantasies concocted by oxygen-starved brains. He believed in the tangible, the verifiable. The afterlife held no allure for him. Give him a cold beer and a good ball game any day. That was reality. He lived a simple life, content in his routine. He worked as a mechanic, his days filled with the comforting rhythm of engines and the smell of grease. Evenings were spent at home, a worn paperback in hand, the television droning softly in the background. John was a man of habit, comfortable in his predictability. His world was one of black and white, of logic and reason. He trusted his hands, calloused from years of work to fix anything broken. He relied on his mind, sharp and pragmatic, to solve problems. The unknown held no fascination for John. He preferred the comfort of certainty. The thought of life after death, of souls floating towards a blinding light, seemed absurd. He dismissed such notions as fairy tales, bedtime stories for adults afraid of the dark. John, however, was not afraid of the dark. He embraced the finality of it all, the comforting silence that awaited at the end. The screech of tires, the deafening crunch of metal, and then darkness. That was all John remembered. One moment he was driving home, the next he was engulfed in a cacophony of chaos. Pain lanced through his body, sharp and unrelenting. He tried to cry out, but his voice was lost in the wreckage. He felt himself slipping away, his senses fading. The pain began to recede, replaced by a strange sense of detachment. He saw the mangled remains of his car, his body trapped within. He watched, a detached observer, as frantic bystanders rushed to help. Then he was pulled upward, drawn towards a tunnel of blinding light. The world he knew, the world of engines and grease, faded away. He felt no fear, only a strange sense of peace. Voices whispered around him, soft and indistinct. He couldn't make out the words, but their tone was soothing, lulling him deeper into the light. He felt a hand on his, warm and reassuring. He turned to see a figure shrouded in light, its features indistinct. The figure spoke, its voice a gentle murmur, but John couldn't understand the words. He felt a sense of overwhelming love and acceptance, a feeling he had never experienced before. He woke up in a sterile white room, the smell of antiseptic stinging his nostrils. The car accident, the tunnel of light, it all felt like a fever dream. He was alive, battered and bruised, but alive. He should have been grateful, relieved. Instead, he felt a creeping sense of dread. The visions started subtly at first, a fleeting image of a child darting into the street, a burning building, a face contorted in grief. He brushed them aside, attributing them to the after effects of the accident. He had always been a practical man, grounded in reality. These visions, these glimpses into the future, were impossible, yet they persisted, growing stronger, more vivid. He saw dates, times, locations. He saw the fear in people's eyes moments before tragedy struck. The line between reality and premonition blurred. His sleep was plagued by nightmares, his waking hours haunted by visions he couldn't control. He tried to tell himself it was all in his head. He was just a mechanic, not some prophet. He longed for the simplicity of his old life, the comfort of routine. But the visions clung to him, whispering of events yet to come, of tragedies waiting to unfold. He was a man adrift, caught between disbelief and the terrifying reality of his newfound gift. Each day felt heavier than the last. He couldn't escape the weight of the knowledge he carried. The faces of strangers, their futures etched in his mind, haunted him. He began to see patterns, connections. The child in the street was linked to the burning building, which in turn was connected to the grieving face. It was a web of events, all leading to one catastrophic moment. He knew he had to act. He couldn't stand by and watch these visions become reality. But how could he, an ordinary man, prevent what seemed inevitable? He started small, warning a mother at a crosswalk, alerting the fire department to a potential hazard. Each intervention brought a mix of relief and anxiety. He was changing the future, but at what cost? The whispers grew louder, more insistent. They told him of a greater disaster, one that would affect countless lives. He couldn't ignore it. His heart raced as he pieced together the clues, each vision a fragment of a larger puzzle. He realized he wasn't alone. There were others like him, people with the ability to see beyond the present. They were scattered, hidden, but connected by the same burden. He reached out, finding solace in their shared experiences. Together they formed a network, a silent army against the tragedies of tomorrow. They exchanged information, coordinated efforts, and slowly they began to make a difference. It was a daunting task, but for the first time since the accident he felt a glimmer of hope. The future was still uncertain, but he no longer faced it alone. The burden of knowing became a shared responsibility, a mission to protect and preserve. As he looked out at the world, he saw not just the darkness of impending doom, but the light of collective action. He had found his purpose, and with it, a new sense of strength. Subscribe to our channel, like, comment and share.